Did you know that April is National Volunteer Month? Hello, I'm Amber Patterson, and this is Volusia Magazine. In honor of National Volunteer Month, I'll fill you in on the variety of ways you can make a difference in your community by getting involved just by giving a few hours of your time. Then see what happens when a dedicated group of volunteers really focuses their efforts at the library. And finally, you know summer's on the way. What will your kids be doing this summer? Whether they like clowning around, playing outside, or cultivating their art skills, Volusia County has a variety of summer camp choices. So I hope you stick around for those news segments, special reports, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. April is National Volunteer Month in honor of the millions of Americans who donate their time and talents to nonprofit organizations around the nation. Did you know Volusia County government has its own corps of volunteers numbering more than 3,000? Volunteers rescue stranded sea turtles. They help prevent crime, assist library staff, and more. It's easy to become a volunteer, and it's fun, and it's a valuable way to spend your free time. Citizen volunteers are helping the Volusia County Sheriff's Office take a bite out of crime through the Citizen Observer Program, also known as COP.
Our volunteers give us so much. It's enormous cost savings that you really can't put a price on. The amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of expertise and the work they do for us is just invaluable. The civilian volunteers allow us to do things that maybe we couldn't get done. Sometimes because of a funding issue, we're not able to hire employees in that position. It also allows us, the employees, to do other work that our volunteers can step up to the plate and do for us. They're out there wanting to help us. We need their help. They do a lot of work for us that allows us to do more and above for the citizens of Volusia County.
By far, our largest group of volunteers work in the county's public libraries, where volunteers assist library staff at public service desks. They check materials in and out and shelve returned materials. For more information on the many volunteer opportunities available with Volusia County government, you can log on to volusia.org. Volusia County's public libraries benefit greatly from citizens who volunteer as helpers and who serve on friends groups that raise money and advocate for library services. Such is the case in DeLand, where the library's Friends Group has agreed to spend $250,000 for an addition that will add a bookstore onto the downtown library. The construction project will be done by Shoemaker Construction of Sanford and consists of a 720 square foot addition to the building that will serve as a book sales room funded and operated by the Friends of the DeLand Public Library.
Most of the Friends groups either have an ongoing book sale or they host periodic book sales where they sort the books and sell them. And that money comes back for supplemental items for the library. And without them, we would not be able to offer the wide variety of services that we offer, get those books back on the shelf as quickly as we do. We just don't know how we would operate if we didn't have the volunteer hours that we have.
The project is scheduled to be finished this summer. It's not too early to think about summer activities for the kids. Volusia County offers a variety of summer camps for children. From environmental to clown camps, there's something for everyone. Children ages 5 through 15 can enjoy 8 fun-filled weeks of supervised playground activities, sports, crafts, and field trips with Volusia County's summer recreation program. Camps will be from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday from June 10th through August 2nd. It'll be at 16 sites throughout the county. Special needs camps will be available at Orange City and Edgewater Elementary Schools. The county also offers specialty camps at the Lyonia Environmental Center. Nancy Maddox of the county's Parks, Recreation, and Culture Division said the county provides supervised activities for children to keep them busy and safe during the summer.
Our summer camps are important because it gives an opportunity for the kids to not only enjoy their summer, but to actually grow during their summer also. because during our summer recreation programs, we do have field trips, but we also have educational programs and different groups that come in and talk with the children, and they learn more about their community, more so than their learning plans at math or science or whatever during the school year. So we make it enjoyable, and it's a fun place to be, and they still get to be with their friends.
Children ages 6 through 13 can experience the wonders of scrub habitat through guided hikes, field studies, and games at the Lyonia Environmental Center in Deltona. Day campers will learn about plants and animals that live in Lyonia Preserve through classroom and field activities. They also will design a t-shirt, create crafts, and learn how they can help protect the environment. Children can clown around at the Port Orange and Deltona libraries during 2 clown camps presented by Bubbles, a professional clown. Kids will learn about clown basics, costumes, makeup, juggling, comedy, magic, and more. Summer camp scholarships are available to income-eligible children and children with special needs through Volusia County's Community Assistance Division. Applications will be available in the county's public libraries and human services offices this Wednesday. For more information about Volusia County's summer camps, you can visit volusia.org/news.
The County Council is committed to building trails because they improve your quality of life. Trails offer exercise, recreation, access to nature, and alternative transportation routes. They also bring families and friends together to enjoy the outdoors. People of all ages and abilities can enjoy our trails in Volusia County. Whether you're a walker, jogger, inline skater, or bicyclist, we have a trail for you. To learn more about Volusia County's trails, visit volusia.org/trails.
The national average price for a gallon of regular unleaded gasoline is $3.75. Many drivers are looking for relief, and as Volusia Here and Now reporter Joanne Magley explains, you may just need to rethink your commute.
The Florida Department of Transportation wants commuters to rethink their drive to work. Through a program called ReThink, drivers are encouraged to explore commute options other than driving alone in their car. The ReThink program has 4 primary goals: saving you money, reducing congestion, improving air quality, and conserving natural resources. One of the ReThink options is riding the bus. In Volusia County, residents and visitors can ride Votran, a service of Volusia County government which began in 1975. For the fiscal year 2011 and 2012, more than 3.5 million people rode fixed route buses, representing an average of more than 329,000 riders each month. Those numbers have increased 2.4% from 2009.
Some economical aspects of riding Votran would be less wear and tear on your car. There's a fuel savings with gas prices being the way they are at this point. You're taking some of the stress off of your commute. You know, get on Votran, have a seat.
John Cotton is Votran's transit analyst. A one-way fare costs $1.25, and you can ride all day for just $3. Weekly passes are $12, and a 31-day pass is $40.
Seniors and young people ages 6 to 17 and people who are on Medicare ride half price, so 60 cents.
If you're thinking about taking the bus but aren't sure where to start, a great place is the Votran website, Votran.org.
If they go there, they can use our route tracker, which provides them with all of our routes. If they have a general idea of the bus that goes near them, but they don't know exactly where, they can click on a route, a map will pop up and show them exactly where the stops are.
If you don't have computer access, you can pick up a schedule at any public library, or you can just call the office. Plus, the folks at Votran and ReThink will even take you on a test ride and help you plan your trip.
When the bus starts to come, we want to hail. We actually want to signal to the bus driver that we would like him or her to stop for us. Okay. And in just a few moments, we're going to be about a block to where we want, before we want to get off. And that's when you ring the bell. You always want to do that a block before your stop.
Please remain seated until the bus comes to a complete stop.
To make sure you know and are comfortable riding the bus.
The first thing that you do, you look around, you see what seats are available, but head to the back of the bus so that you leave room for the elderly and people who have disabilities or need to have wheelchair accessibility. They can use the front of the bus.
Nicole Masters is the Senior Outreach Specialist for ReThink and says there are some basic rules for riding the bus.
It's important to know that you can't have any food or drink on the bus. You can't bring your surfboard on the bus because, again, you can't block the aisle. But you can bring your bike.
Each Votran bus is equipped to stow 2 bicycles on the front outside of the bus, and each bus is also wheelchair accessible. The buses are safe and clean, and all buses are equipped with video cameras. And by taking a Votran bus, especially a hybrid bus, you're also contributing to the green movement. So riding the bus not only saves you money, it helps the environment. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
For more information on the ReThink program or on Votran bus service, visit Votran.org or you can call 386-761-7700.
Hi, I'm Deb Denny's with the Volusia County Council, urging you to be a driving force for the arts. If you renew your vehicle registration and request a state-of-the-art specialty plate, $20 of the fee goes directly to support cultural programs right here in Volusia County. In recent years, license plate revenues have been used to restore artwork in the historic courthouse, host numerous public programs and workshops, and market the arts. Putting one of these plates on your vehicle shows your commitment to the arts and lets others know that Florida really is a state of the arts.
The Department of Health in Volusia County offers a tuberculosis program. In this segment of Community Health Matters, Stefany Strong explains the basics of TB, what it is, and how it's treated.
Tuberculosis, or TB, is a disease caused by germs that are spread from person to person through the air. TB usually affects the lungs, but it can also affect other parts of the body, such as the brain, the kidneys, or the spine. A person with TB can die if they do not get treatment.
Tuberculosis is spread through the air. If a person has tuberculosis of the lungs and coughs or sneezes or even talks, the tuberculosis germ can actually escape from their lungs and transfer to another person.
People with latent TB infection have TB germs in their bodies, but they are not sick because the germs are not active. People with TB disease are sick from TB germs that are active, meaning that they are multiplying and destroying tissue in their body.
Tuberculosis is an infection of the lungs, so usually the symptoms consist of cough, long cough for weeks and months. Coughing up blood is particularly important. People with tuberculosis will experience weight loss, fatigue, night sweats, fevers, and really just general deterioration. There are a couple tests for TB. The original test was a skin test. Some of the tuberculosis germ is placed under the skin through an injection, and then 24, 48, 72 hours later, we check the skin to see if there's reaction, and that shows a person may have been exposed to tuberculosis in the past. We have a newer test now, which is just a blood test that measures antibodies to the tuberculosis germ. So with just a blood test, we can test and see if somebody's been exposed to the tuberculosis germ in the past. Tuberculosis is a bacterial infection, and therefore it's treated with antibiotics. The interesting part about tuberculosis is that the antibiotics take at least 6 months to cure the infection, not the typical 10 days that we take antibiotics for other types of infections.
For more information about TB, please visit the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention website, cdc.gov.
Our goal in Florida is really to eliminate tuberculosis across the state. But when we see a tuberculosis case, we ordinarily manage that case in terms of making sure the patient is on the appropriate antibiotics for the appropriate amount of time. We also offer skin testing for tuberculosis in our clinics.
For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stefany Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can always log on to volusiahealth.com. Time now to head into the studio to join our Community Information Director, Dave Byron, and his guest, Chip Shelble from the Volusia County Health Department.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hi, everyone. You know, Volusia's beautiful ocean beaches are our most significant natural attraction. Millions of people from around the world, they come here to romp in the surf. It's the role of the Volusia County Health Department to ensure the water quality is safe for public bathing, and they do that by conducting routine water tests and have been doing so for a good number of years. So we want to talk about that today. With us in the studio today from the Volusia County Health Department is Chip Shelble. He's with the environmental section and has been doing these tests for quite some time. Chip, thanks for being with us. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for being with us. So this is something that we've talked about in the past, and I think as we get into the beginning of beach season and as we move toward the busy summer months, I thought it would be interesting to talk about the ocean water quality. It's so important to our county. I know you've been doing this for quite some time. Tell us how far back you go with kind of sampling the ocean water quality.
Yeah, we actually started sampling back in 1996 before there was a statewide program, just because the question was out there, what exactly is the water quality on Volusia County beaches? It was always assumed that it was good, but we didn't have anything to back that up. So we started collecting data at that point, and then in the year 2000, it became an official statewide program, and we've been monitoring it regularly ever since then.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting that this is one of those things that I guess Volusia County can clearly say you were a forerunner or a leader in this area, and I guess the state caught up to you. And as you said, now all the counties on the coast are doing this.
Correct. All the coastal counties sample at least a minimum of every 2 weeks.
So what do? Do you actually send people out there and dip into the water?
We do. We have 15 sample sites that stretch from Ormond by the Sea through New Smyrna Beach. And we have one collector that goes out, and well, actually 2 collectors, and sample from those various sites every 2 weeks. And then they resample if there's a bad sample result.
So you're going out and collect these samples. I suppose you send them to a lab, or maybe you have your own lab.
Volusia County has their own environmental health lab, and we send them to that lab locally.
And what are you looking for, Chip, when you're sampling?
What we're looking for there is bacteria that would indicate sewage pollution. Enteric bacteria is what we're looking for, specifically Enterococcus.
And, you know, so looking for bacteria in the ocean water, I guess when we think of bacteria, we think of, ooh, this could be bad for our health. What would be the dangers of having bacteria in the ocean waters?
Yeah, if you were swimming in a contaminated area and you had significant exposure, you can get anything from earaches, skin infections, gastrointestinal diseases, upper respiratory infections, that sort of thing. It can be significant.
And probably those people that were maybe in the older age category, or people with a compromised immune system, that sort of thing, would probably be the most vulnerable.
Those groups would definitely be at a higher risk, yes.
And what would the cause likely be of bacteria in the ocean waters?
Well, generally what we're looking for in that type of scenario is some sort of sewage contamination, whether it be from septic systems or city sewers, sewer line breaks, that's a common thing. Stormwater, heavy stormwater discharge can be an issue, and also wildlife.
Right. And of course we know in our county wildlife has been an occasional problem.
That is what we see when we do have occasional high numbers.
I would think that, you know, given the fact that you've been doing these tests, again, going back to the mid-1990s, you must have a pretty good set of data points that you can overlay year over year, month over month. So I'm assuming that you're saying that the test results you have from a historical perspective are pretty darn reliable.
They really are, and with having so many years of data, we've really been able to see a trend, and we know where and when we have bad samples, and we've been able to pretty much figure out what the cause is. at that point. And
Right.
fortunately, it's just fleeting. It's a couple months out of the year, and it's early in the season before most people are in the water. You know.
And that's different, the kind of problem that you're talking about, which does occur rarely, but the kind of problem that you're talking about in the ocean water is different than the kind of problem you see in the summertime when it gets real hot, and a lot of times people have problems, I guess, with microbes or whatever in the lakes. It's a different issue, is it not?
Well, I think you might be referring to the amoebas.
Amoebas, I'm sorry.
That we get in the lakes, and it is a completely different
Right.
organism. Yeah.
And I would also think that with the ocean waters being so roiling with the waves and everything, that that probably is not all that conducive to a long-term big bacteria buildup.
That's correct, and that's one of the advantages we have on the Atlantic coast in general.
Right.
Is that we have wide open beaches and there's lots of flow. They're not trapped, confined cove areas. In some parts of the state and the country, that's an issue where you have bays and lagoons, and
Right.
and there's not a lot of flushing of water through those areas.
Right. So you got all this data going back to the mid-1990s. The key question here is what's the health of our ocean waters? Is it pretty safe?
It's very good. Statewide, it's good, and I could say Volusia County is very good. You know, like I said, we have a few areas where we have large bird populations in
Right.
Late winter, early spring, and we see some elevated numbers there, and that usually clears up by April,
Right.
and then we don't see it again until the beginning of the next year. So.
And I can't think of any points in Volusia County where there would be any sewerage outfalls into the ocean. I don't think that's a problem here, is it?
No, there's not. I think you're talking about stormwater outfalls.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah, and
stormwater,
many places in the country they have large stormwater outfalls, and we don't have any on our beaches in Volusia.
Right.
So that is very helpful.
And how about from a statewide perspective? What's the general water quality in the beaches across the state of Florida?
It's very good. There are a few areas that occasionally have problems. On the West Coast, they have some areas that aren't like our Atlantic beaches, and they're not as well flushed. The waters contain more, so they have more problems there. And occasionally in South Florida, you'll see a sewer line break that causes problems in the higher urban areas,
Right.
more populated urban areas.
Well, I mean, I guess the good thing is if you're going to be going in the water, which I won't be this time of year, but if you're going in the water, it's plenty safe, and that's a good thing.
Yes, and you can always check and see the results if there's any question. You know, it's in the newspaper,
Right.
and it's on our website.
Hey, while I got you here, as we're speaking, we're in the middle of Bike Week, which is a very busy time of the year in Volusia County. And, in general, the health department's responsibility is to keep everyone healthy and safe. So when Bike Week rolls around, I know you have some inspection responsibilities as it relates to some of these campgrounds.
Yeah, we do have some additional duties in Bike Week as well as Speed Weeks, where we've got some temporary campgrounds that's
Right.
set up throughout the county. And we also have some temporary food vendors that come in just for these events. So, they definitely add to the workload, and they keep things busy out there.
So what do they have to get a permit from you, or do you have to go out and inspect all these facilities? And
They
if you
do.
What are you looking for?
They do. Well, the food facilities, obviously, we're looking for basic food hygiene,
Right.
like we would in other food establishments.
Right.
The campgrounds, we're looking for safe drinking water, sewage disposal, solid waste issues, things like that, just general sanitation.
I mean, I would guess that, whereas Bike Week has been an event here for years and years and years, and I would have guessed that most of these campgrounds have probably been at this for a few years, so one would assume that they're pretty familiar with the regulations, and you probably don't have a lot of problems, do you?
No, we really don't. It's pretty smooth at this point in time. It's most of the same operators, and they know what we're looking for, and we don't have any big issues.
I think you also, slightly off topic here, but don't you also inspect public swimming areas? I mean,
Public swimming, commercial swimming
parks
pools.
and things like that?
Oh, the water parks, as well as
Yeah.
all the pools and spas and all the
Right.
hotels, the condos, the apartment complexes.
Right.
It's, over 1,000
Right.
in Volusia County.
And
so-
again, that's all part of your environmental role to look at the safety aspect of these sorts of things, the water quality. You also inspect, I guess, sewage treatment plants and water plants.
We do the water plants.
Water plants,
we
yeah.
do the septic permitting,
Right.
which is fairly big in this county. Yeah.
All right, well, Chip, I want to thank you very much for sharing the information. Obviously, this is a very important component of the health department, and so it's glad to see you guys are on top of things.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Our guest today is Chip Shelble of the Volusia County Health Department, and with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to volusia.org and click on the News tab to find us. And did you know you can view the County Council meeting calendar there too? You'll find out about meeting dates, activities, special events, topics of interest, and how you can participate. Starting April 1st and throughout the month of April, the Friends of the Library will be sponsoring a series of free blockbuster movies. For more information, you can contact the Port Orange Library at 386-322-5152. And last but not least, we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. We'll see you next week.